Hello, YouTube. This is Ziggyno, and thank you for joining us for part two of my duet conversation with Adam Lefkoe. I'm basically responding to his podcast he put out a few weeks ago, and we're on item number 14, where he's going to talk about how to find the value or how to check the comp of a sports card.
Studying the markets. These are all the questions that I just wrote down and tried to break them up. Study the markets. Number 14, check eBay sold prices. Not about what people are listing it for, what they are selling it for. You could be trying to sell me a Kevin Durant refractor for 14 grand, but the last one sold for 8. Used, sold. That is what people are buying it for. Also, look at how many are being sold. You can see if that there's a lot of buzz around a certain player. There are certain websites out there. I've already shouted out the Card Ladder. They're looking at the volume because that's telling you also if people are interested in it. But sold, not what they're listed for, what they sold for. Number 15.
Great point, Adam. I think it's very important that I think one thing people need to realize, whether you're new to the hobby or coming back to the hobby, is that the lifeblood of the hobby, what determines market value of cards, is eBay sold. Okay, look at eBay sold to find the value of wax, to find the value of breaks, to find the value of singles for PSA graded cards, whatever that might be. You mentioned the Card Ladder; it's a great resource. I'd like to give a few others out. 130 Point website, 130point.com, gives you eBay data, but they also give you what the price was of what the of a buy it now. In a buy it now, I might post it at $1,000, but I might accept $800. It gives you that information in 130 Point. Card Snoop is another one. A lot of this data is actually at TerraPeak, and you'll find a lot of these applications like Card Ladder are pulling that data from these eBay sold. A couple of other applications out there, Card Genie. Card Genie is, I think, about $4 one-time charge. It's an app that you can use to follow your collection and follow trends in the market. These apps will also give you pop count, which you're going to talk about in a moment. I should also mention Market Movers. Market Movers is more of a high end for kind of the bigger investor, the bigger volume seller buyer, but it's an excellent solution. It includes, like I mentioned, pop counts, raw data from eBay. It doesn't use any algorithms or anything. It's just pure eBay data. Please tell us about pop reports and the importance of those.
Population reports matter. It is important to know how much of a card exists. I know that we can talk about the hobby getting huge, but if there's a guy out there that has a rookie card and there's only 300 of them versus a guy that has a rookie card and there's 11,000 of them, if there's less and you're seeing a lot of energy, population reports matter. Learn how to see them on the PSA website. Learn how to see them on the Beckett website. Learn how to read them. All the information's out there. How do I read a pop report, PSA? What information matters? If you want to get into this and you're going to put money into it, read into it. It's helpful. Number 16.
Pop reports, great point, Adam. Let me just say a few more things about pop reports. You mentioned PSA and Beckett. SGC does have a pop report as well, so check out SGC. And it makes it challenging to track all three, and SGC's pop report is brand new, so a lot of the apps I mentioned earlier aren't tracking those. But most of these apps do track PSA, but don't forget there's others out there. Also, understand how a pop report impacts a card. Okay, just because there's a low pop count does not mean the card has super value. There could be a lot of factors. It could be the first card that was graded. When cards come out in prison, people will rush to grade them and put out on eBay pop count 1. Well, it's because you're the first to market. Doesn't mean there's not going to be a pop count for 50,000, right? Also, maybe it could be exclusivity. In a gold, there's only 10 golds out there. So if you ever see a pop count over 10, well, that's because someone's been cracking it and regrading it, right? So pop accounts mean a lot. It's one factor to take in, but you have to understand the importance of pop accounts. Please go ahead and tell us a little bit more about researching.
Research before buying. Cardboard Connection. Go up and look. If you're like, man, you know what? I like Deshaun Watson. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Christian McCaffrey. 2017 NFL seems like a good year. Go to a place like Cardboard Connection. See, oh, in those boxes, you're looking for a blue prism or a green prism. Oh, there's only one gold? Oh, learn what you're looking to buy before you just go out and be like, I like this guy. Ask questions in chats and live. If you're seeing people in an IG live, let's say they're breaking a box or they're having a discussion, throw a question in there. Maybe they'll answer it. Also, if you're on Facebook, there's a lot of groups, Discord chats. There's a lot of discussions. Don't be afraid to ask a question. No one's expecting you to know everything. No one's expecting you to get it right away. But don't feel dumb, because believe me, I felt like an idiot when I first started. And the more I asked questions, the more I learned. Also, post the card and ask if it's in Facebook or whatever, and say, is this a good price? You're only stupid if you assume that you're hustling.
Great comments, Adam. Great comments about research. I stress research all the time. Now, I will say a lot of people don't have patience for research. So find a mentor, get experience, find a friend, get into a chat. When you're in these lives and you ask questions, use the golden rule. Treat them with respect. Hey, man, can I ask a question? I'm new to the hobby. Sure, people will answer you. Hey, is this okay if I ask this? Some people get upset depending on what you post in there, but most of them are going to be friendly. Say thank you and please, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. But for the most part, you're going to learn a lot. Other websites to check out besides Cardboard Connection, check out Group Break Checklist. It has real good details of the checklist, including how many autos might be in there, relics, how what team has a lot of cards in it if you're chasing certain teams. Excellent resource. Some other good resources. When you talk about these Discord groups and Facebook groups, I'm a big fan of the Facebook groups because I remind you earlier, Facebook groups are more of open communities, even though they're private groups. A lot of these members are in multiple groups, so if they see something being exploited or somebody misleading somebody, they're gonna call it out. Discord concerns me a little bit more because often Discords can be closed communities. It's one sponsor who owns a Discord. He can control the message. For example, you might ask, hey, is $100 good price for a blaster? And everybody in the room is tell you that's a great price when maybe 50 is a better price. So be cautious of where you're getting your information in the community you're in. I always suggest broaden your horizon. Don't just fall in love with one breaker, one Facebook group, one Discord channel. Get to meet other people. The more you know, the better. Knowledge is very important in that research.
Okay? And you're only hustling if you know what the hell you're talking about. So ask, post it. Am I right here? Also, if you really want to get into this, who cares if you put it on your IG story and people think that you're getting a sports car? Who cares? Okay? If you want to do it, do it. But ask people. Don't be afraid to ask. Now we'll get into investment strategies. I only say this with air quotes because a lot of people that truly love collecting cards and have the collecting genes, I think the word investment sounds like a dirty word. I'm looking at it as I am using, this is me personally, I'm using investments to help me collect the cards that I want to get. And that if and when I do sell them, it'll feel great. But in the meantime, I want to hold the cards I like.
Adam, that's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that before you break into this investment topic. First of all, I want to say, as someone who's been in the hobby for about 5 or 6 years, it has been a word that people didn't use. But everyone, I have yet to meet a single person who is a pure collector only. There probably are a few, but for the most part, most of the people in the hobby sell to fuel their addiction to the hobby, to buy more. Right? There are certain people who actually make a living off of this, who pay for their jobs, pay for their homes, their cars, their food, and everything by selling cards, and they look at it a little bit differently. I'm kind of a user and abuser, right? I use the hobby, I like it, and abuser in the sense that I'm addicted to the hobby, not as in abusing the hobby in a negative way, just to verify. But I think it's just important to understand the different people who get caught up in this hobby. And I would say this too. Remember, everybody's got a little investing in them. Have respect for that. Also remember, because of that, as I said earlier, there's a lot of people who are just here hustling. Okay, not everybody's going to appreciate the hobby the same way you might. Right? They might hear just to flip sneakers or just to flip prison boxes.
Number 17, 80% blue chip, 20% projection. I think part of the reason why the card market is exploding right now is that everybody is projecting and everybody's right. I could tell you that Daniel Jones is going to have a monster year. I could tell you that Drew Lock's going to have a monster year. I could tell you that Kyler Murray is going to have a big year. And I could tell you that Dwayne Haskins is going to have a big year. I could tell you that Jared Stidham is going to have a big year. I could tell you that Gardner Minshew is going to have a big year. Those are all quarterbacks. I can tell you Tracy McSorley. They are all quarterbacks in the same draft class. And because the games haven't started yet, nobody is wrong. Nobody. Some of you are going to be wrong. Some of you. Others are going to be right. That's the projection. You do not want to put 80% of your money in projection. If you're buying a LeBron, that's not projecting. He's already done it. A Kobe. And I know some of you are going to be priced out, but figure out who are the guys that are not projections that maybe that are already there that maybe you enjoy and you can get involved with. Number 18, focus on
Well, hold on a second, Adam. On this 80-20 rule, I think it sounds like a great rule, and I'm not going to say it's a bad rule, but it's kind of like when they tell you don't swim after you've had lunch. It's really kind of more of a myth. And the reason I say that is, look, if you're a new collector and you put together a budget, you're just not going to be able to do a lot with that 20%. You're going to spend 80% of your money on a LeBron, have one card in your collection, and watch your friends all doing a lot of fun things on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it might be. I say you got to look at the hobby a little differently. First of all, it should be expendable income. You should be having fun with it. I look at it as it should pay for itself to get you the next box and let you take your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever that might be out to dinner every now and then, right? Get something out of it to reward yourself. I think that's a really realistic goal. Personally, I'm not. I'll be honest. I've been collecting for 5 years. I don't think I have any vets at all. Any vintage old cards at all. Maybe a few, maybe a handful. But it's not where I spend my time, my budget, my fun. And I also don't, I don't get too caught up in the hype, right? I have a system that I use and enjoy. I'm not really going to go and explain that, but my point is I think the 80-20 rule is kind of neat. And what I would tell people is that I think it's more about less having a budget and building a system that works for you. If you're a football collector, collect football, chase certain products, and watch the season. Understand the season, right? Prism season's in October. NT season's in March. You should know the differences when they're coming. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Forgive me for that little interruption. We're going to have a lot more coming.
Rookie cards. Your guys are going to get cards. You go, oh man, I got a Trae Young, and you might not even realize it's a second year. Can you go into those markets? Yes, but typically rookie cards are the ones that ask for the most. Why? Because there's only 1 year of rookie cards. We talked about population reports, right? Let's say with the LeBron, there's 1,999 Topps Chrome rookies, PSA 10s. There's only 1 year that he's a rookie. 2014 until 2020, cards were made, but there's only one rookie year. And that's why there's so much excitement about it. Can you get other cards and invest in other cards? Yes. I'm just telling you the most value is in the rookie cards. Number 19.
Sorry, Adam. I just want to echo the rookie card statement. In my opinion, the only value that you should focus on as a new collector is in the rookie cards. And what I mean by that is you can get in this hobby by jumping on the classes coming up. Don't chase the Zions from last year. Don't chase the Lucas, right? You're only going to get frustrated. But look at what's coming up in the new year. Okay, now we have a weird sports thing going on, but get ready for basketball in the 21 season. Get ready for the football class. There's a lot of cool rookies coming out. Look for some movement there. Rookie cards are, I think, where 90% of the fun, the value, and the focus should be. So have fun in rookie cards.
Evaluate the action around the player. I said this earlier. Some sell well, some don't. Sometimes it's about whether or not a guy's likable. Sometimes it's whether or not a guy's going to be famous. Are we going to talk about this guy for a long time? Do people like this guy? Do people want to collect this guy? You need to evaluate the action around a player if you're going to use this from an investment strategies perspective. Number 20.
Adam, agree with you totally on 19. I'm just going to add the Kareem Hunt factor. I was PC collecting Kareem Hunt in 2017. He has his incidents, card plummets. So yes, actions speak louder than off the field, often speak louder than actions on the field. So look at character of the player.
Sell the hype, don't buy the hype. When Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP, it's not better to buy him right afterwards. It's better to sell during, if you're looking to sell and not hold. If they sign a new contract, guess what? Maybe not the best time to buy right after. It's probably going to spike around. This is what hype is, okay? If a documentary comes out, Michael Jordan was selling at about $30K, I think. The 86 Fleer rookie PSA 10. During at the peak of the documentary, I think it was around 85.90. Okay? Afterwards, it dropped back down because people are looking to sell the hype. Understand how that works. Don't sell the peak also, sell the rise. Don't try and sell it, I'm going to get the maximum amount possible. As it's going up, be happy with your return. If you are trying to sell, don't try and time at the right spot because you're most likely going to hit the down curve. Typically how it goes.
Adam. So there, he kind of confused me, but what I would take out of that is, look, I don't mean this the wrong way. Don't let the hype impact your plan. Right? If you have a plan and the hype comes, and you've got Booker cards, and let's say your plan was to sell Booker cards if they hit 400, and then Gary Vee posts them and they hit 600, then sell them. Okay, it's not about the hype. It's that you had a plan to sell when it reached a certain point, right? You also should not be thinking, well, next car I'm buying, I'm worried about who are people, who's Gary Vee buying or who's Adam Lefkoe buying. Don't do that. Go with your plan, strategy. Don't ignore the hype. Hype is part of life. Hype's like the weather. It's going to come and go. Just be prepared. Bring a raincoat with you. Grab your umbrella. Enjoy your journey, though. Enjoy your journey.
21. A lot of you are going to come in and do boxes, box breaks. That's when there's a box of, let's say I said earlier, 2017 NFL, whatever brand you want, and you're going to go on there and you're going to go, hey, for $50 you get 3 teams. You could even get the Cardinals, and maybe you'll have a chance at Kyler Murray. That is gambling. I'm just letting you know that. If you know it's gambling and you still want to do it, just know that. I'm telling you that's not investing. That is gambling, unless you got a plug. If you got a plug that can get you boxes, and you want to hold on to those boxes, that's investing. If you think that the 2017 NFL class is going to be good for a long time, or the 2018 NBA class of Luka and Trey, that's investing. But if you're cracking boxes or being a part of lives, just know that that's like daily fantasy for sports cards. How much time do I have?
You got about 2 minutes left, but before you get into that, okay, box breaks. It's part of the hobby. It's part of the ecosystem. Understand the importance of breakers. They put so much product into the environment, the community. Yes, it's a riskier form of the hobby. I don't think you should just outright call it gambling because it's kind of like throwing a rock from a glass house, man. If you're collecting cards and potentially selling them, that's gambling too. We're all gambling on the athlete, right? Box breakers are chasing big hits. Some of them have strategies. I broke a lot of boxes. I'll be honest. Here's a little interesting fact. If you've made it this far in the video, I've spent more money on an individual break than I've ever spent on one individual card. I think the most I've ever spent on one card is maybe $300 for a card. In my history as a collector, I've spent a lot more on breaks. And I can tell you I've had a good return on breaks. So it's just you have to be more knowledgeable. It's deeper side of the pool, the breaking side. Now, we let all the little kids come swim, and a lot of them drown, but it's definitely an interesting part of the hobby. Back to you.
2 minutes?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, thanks. Watch and learn, though, with those box breaks. That's where you can get information. You can see which boxes are they breaking. Oh, maybe kids right now are liking that card more. I'm seeing a lot of kids breaking Mosaic right now. You hear their discussions. You hear which players they like. Because sometimes they'll be going through looking for a 2018 Trae Young, and then all of a sudden they pull out, I'm making up a name here, a Kawhi, and they go, man, I love Kawhi. And then the chat's like, I love Kawhi too. See what people love. You're surveying the market. It's all a discussion. We're all talking about sports. It's fun. I think I'm having a blast. Also, which boxes are popular? What are people hunting for? Like right now, the 2 teams that everybody want with rookie NBA, Pelicans and Grizzlies. They're going Zion and Ja hunting. Okay, but when they crack that Kobe White, do they get excited? When they crack that Tyler Hero, do they stop and look at it a little bit? See what people like. Use it for information. And number 22, my last one. Hope I got it in under 20 minutes.
You got it, man. You got
22 tips, 22 lessons that I think I learned these last few months in sports cards. This one came from my guy, Chris Jackson. Follow him on Instagram, Action Jackson Cards. I picked this guy's brain.
Yeah.
He said something that stayed with me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Never be upset with a profit.
Great point.
If you sell a card and it keeps going up, listen, man, you made a profit. There's a lot of people that might buy and it never goes up. God forbid it goes down. Never be upset with a profit.
Yep. A good friend of mine said that too. He said, you can't go broke taking a profit. And that's why I would say when you're going to get in this game, when you buy a card, you should have a strategy on what your exit. Don't buy a card and go, I'm going to hold him until I think he goes up. Well, if you're going to do that, and you have a card you're putting with for 5 years, or I'm long on this side, great. But even if you're long, you should have a number in your mind that, hey, if this card hit $10,000, I'm going to sell it. I'm hoping it hits $10,000 by the time my kid goes to college. Well, if that time period shrinks and is in 2 years, sell the card. Because in 18 years, if it goes back down, you're going to be upset and you're not going to get broke taking those profits.
Don't follow the deer into the woods.
Good point.
Shot. I hope that I helped you out. I hope that I gave you information.
Absolutely.
I really want feedback on this one.
I'm
Hit me up
giving
on
it to you.
Instagram, Adam Lefkoe. Hit me up at Twitter, at
Following
Adam
you.
Lefkoe. If you are a purist and you didn't enjoy the investing things, let's talk about it. If you're an investor and you didn't enjoy some of my strategies, let's talk about it.
Loved it all.
Let's talk about it even more. I'm the Lefkoe man. I hope you found it interesting. We'll talk later.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you guys in the YouTube channel. I hope you made it this far. If you have, please leave a like. Love your comments below. I normally do shorter content, and I normally have a little more visuals going on. So hopefully this made some sense. But I think it's important. I thought, Adam had 22 great points from the perspective of somebody new to the hobby, and I just wanted to add to that, echo that. I am going to share these with Adam. Maybe he'll reach out. As you know, as I continue to preach, my goal is to just share information with the community of the hobby, not selling anything here, not pitching anything here. I will definitely be evaluating products, giving you my opinion, giving you my perspective. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Have a great day.